During this time period, we see some of the largest fossils from some of these animal kinds that we have ever seen. An animal that's much smaller today is the armadillo, and we find a group of armored mammals called the glyptodonts. The largest glyptodont was called Doedicarus. It was about the size of a Volkswagen Beetle, roughly 4 feet at the top of the shell, may have weighed up to 1.5 tons, and it had a clubbed tail that may have had spikes on the end of it. Now, probably my favorite to talk about is sloths. So these animals were much bigger. Here is the peg-like tooth from one of those animals compared to the teeth of the modern sloth. The largest of them here in the US was called Eremitherium. This guy was at least 13 feet tall. There is the claw from the tip of one finger. This animal may have weighed up to 6.5 tons, which means it's comparable to a modern elephant, and we still think it's from the same pretty kind as the cute little sloths we see today. But not the largest. The largest mammals in North America were the mammoths and mastodons. They were members of the elephant kind, and some of them, like the Columbian mammoths, may have reached as much as 10 tons. And they still weren't even the largest mammals. There's one specimen that we think might be larger than mammoths and mastodons. It looks an awful lot like a rhino, so it might actually be a member of the rhino kind, but it is taller than a giraffe, and it may have weighed as much as 24 tons. You could have walked straight under it without brushing your head. Those huge animals that we see only as fossils, they're extinct because the conditions continued to change at the end of the Ice Age. The best way we can explain this is through scripture, that the flood caused an ice age that allowed these animals to disperse over the world. And if we can trust the scripture about our history, what it tells us about how God made the animals, how he saved them through the flood, then we can also trust him about how he has sent salvation for us as well. He sent his only son, Jesus, who became a man, lived a sinless life, and through his death and resurrection, he opened the way that if we put our trust in him, we can join him eternally in a new heavens and a new earth where all of creation is going to be restored.